Now let's move on to a complete unknown person, Jorge Ramió. Jorge Ramió is a very good friend of mine, and is perhaps the very first person who knew that we're going to celebrate an event on security 6 years ago. From that cafe, we had. Uh, he is one of the most well-known cryptographers in the world. He's going to give us a talk about a very unknown algorithm. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for having me. Thank you, Roman, and all the Rooted organization for having invited me to this event. Oh, why did you tell I'm a well-known person? Oh, it's not this much. Okay, I'm a local person. Let's be humble. I will talk about RSA. Um, um, uh, my presentation is RSA turns 36 and its youth car has a spark. We're working within the crypto networking and with Intipedia, a loop for book and such. New novelties in the coming weeks. I want to say that I have used this striking title. Oh, RSA turns 36. It was born 36 years ago, and I'd name it as like this: is youth card has its part. This is a twink. This is a twisted time. We want to check how these attacks against us can be orthodox and nice. It's good to simulate, to do enactments and simulation mock-ups in the classroom, but then we don't know how much they can perform in real life. But since it's ages since there have been attacks which is lateral channel who has burst out last December. The authors, Samir from RSA, they had published a document, a paper, in which they say that if I start listening to zeros and one, I can decipher the key, the password. My audition reaches 20 kilohertz, so 35 kilohertz, equaling zeros and one. Through these systems, we can decipher and get the zeros and one, and the whole paradigm of security bursts out. They told us that algorithms are secure and robust with a very big key, but this is not like this. With this lateral channel attack, we are going to confront the in-depth algorithm in the middle of the computer, no matter how robust or strong it is, or how much bigger their memory is. There are counter-attack measures against these kind of attacks, but this is the gist. This is the essentials of my presentations. I will also offer you some mock-ups and presentations, demonstrations, for you to see that orthodox or academic attacks are useless. Um, those attacks on lateral channel are the riskiest ones. So let's start our presentation through, as you can see on screen, I will read the summary from the screen. Firstly, a short introduction to the RSAs. It's a very simple thing for you to understand. Some very nice things from RSA. Simply speaking, it could be one simple vulnerability, but it's not like this. RSA vulnerabilities are fun. There are also more orthodox attacks, but they didn't get success. Um, that's why there's not success. So the attack through entire factorization, there is a lot of development on this, but up to the last attempts with 600 85 bits. There was no increase key, and it duplicates the attack time. There are very fun and unknown attacks which are not going to be successful, such as those with the 1000 bits, which is, for instance, cyclical, cipher, encryptive attacks, which are the rings, and there is what you call the birthday paradox attack. Uh, which it has been applied a lot of time, and these work on RSA because this allows to do perform a linear attack, and you duplicate the work, which does not happen with entire factorization attack, and you can do a distributed attack. In principle, it's cool, but in the very end, we see that with the keys we're working with, we will lose a lot of computing time in real time. So these attacks in the very end are not successful. What are successful attacks? Lateral channel attacks, how zeros and ones work on our computer. So uh, I titled this presentation with RSA because I have a kind of intimate relationship with RSA. I'm giving lessons. I wrote a book for them, which is available for review. I can give you away my book, and this is the standard one. RSA is the standard one. What happens here? Some algorithms we know, such as asymmetric algorithms, have to do exponentiation, one number elevated to the other. So when there is very close to the value n, several numbers, it turns out that for us to agilite the calculation, you need an algorithm where the binary exponent is in 0 and is a square, and I reduce module. But when the exponent 1, I do a square multiplied by the bases, like this, and the work done with 1 is bigger than the one done with 0. Therefore, this is a bigger consumption. I can see the vibrations from my computer among the hardware. I can hear and listen to what's going on. The attack which is done against me, and I can affect the algorithm and directly attack the key. Like I said, the algorithm, why I'm so interested is because RSA algorithm is a standard working a long time now. The algorithm 36 is a very interesting algorithm because it's very simple. As you can see, it's very longevous. It's a 36-year-old algorithm. It's not incredible. It's not unbelievable. There are very few people coming back to my early young years. And that time we did the 128-bit RSA. We want to perform a bigger key, which is also military. You left the RSA machine working, you go for a coffee, play the cards, and the key was being calculated. Now we use 228 key, which is useful. And RSA what has done in this kind of asymmetrical algorithm, they weren't chains, but algorithmically speaking, it is not very much smart. If I pay the guys which are bad are coming against me, I'm increase my number of bits in the algorithm. I'm still quiet and relaxed for some time. So I can increase my bit in the algorithm to 2028, but you cannot think of having asymmetrical algorithms keys with 8,000 bits. This is impossible. This has been the solution for the time being, and we are in keys and passwords of about 2028 bit for our algorithms. Miss that is very easily to understand. It's a comprehensive algorithm. There are 6 of them. We were dropped. We were failed their exams, and they have to repeat their exams next coming June. This was a show. Operations in encrypting RSA is very simple. We need a number elevated to a number, encrypted. If I want to exchange passwords, it will be 128 28-bit number, approximately, only hundreds of bits. When encryption, there are hubs traveled with C elevated D module and after exchanging passwords. Okay, the bank entity receives 2080 bits. So what the bank has to do, what is called C elevated D mod n, you have to elevate the number to 1028, which is a long number, so you need the system, the Chinese system, it's been algorithms, the remaining subtraction Chinese algorithm. This allows us detecting when an operation elevated to P or operation elevated to Q. This way, I will spy on the Q and P keywords and keys. We are working within a body. The challenges are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's 7, it's 0. I move from a negative to the positive one, from canonical to the other one. And the only operation that we should know how to calculate is the inverse, the concept of inverses. There is a public key and there are a private key inversely inside the body. Period. That's it. There are very few knowledge. You can't confine this body with really super hot bodies, as you can see on the screen. A short review of the algorithm. There was a group of that you can see on screen. Is that every user chooses a group of n equals to p multiplied q that can be different. The values p and q are not public, and each user calculates n equals to p minus 1 q minus 1. I have a passphrase to enter the private key. It's me, the one created the this key. So, like I said, each user calculates n equals p minus 1, q minus. Each user chooses the public key and in a way that one, as you can see on the screen, minus e to factors to do factors, and it's impossible to deal with 1000 bits. Once done, the user has to choose a public key. This is false. This is nobody chooses the public key. You are forced to have a number which you're going to see it in a digital way. The digital key is 65,000, so on, everything elevated to 7. Why is this number? Because it has very interesting features. It's short, it's not very small, which means the private key is going to be bigger, very similar to the module, which it cannot be impossible to be attacked by a brutal and brute force. Several numbers, zeros, and the operation exponential square. Only a department of registering is going very quickly in the twinkling of an eye. Is what I'm doing now in RSA. We have a PQ differs from others, and we have different modules. A user will calculate their private key with a particular algorithm. D equals invariable. E is a very short number of 7 bits minus PQ, which is 2028 bits. So this is the concept of inverse. The private key value will be very close to 2048 bits. This is the idea. If I have a public key that's like everybody, 65,000 and so on, and have a module of these bits, my private key would be 2048 and likely 2045. It won't be a 100 bit key. My key will be very close to the module. You know that it's kept it in the here in the hard disk with the asymmetrical algorithm and the encryption key through the passphrase with the hash. I have a secret key and is onto the hard disk. So my laptop is stolen. They don't stole my key. We have the theorem of the remaining of the subtraction Chinese thing. Is kept in secret in the key D, and also kept in secret P and Q for the operation of encryption. Thanks to this, like I said, the Chinese theorem and the subtraction is almost obligatory compulsory because optimize and our speed rendition is optimized almost over 60%. Now the figure, the cipher, C equals N, as you can see on the screen. There are some numbers. Some people use the RSA algorithm, and let's see. H is A for hello, how are you doing? And we're going back to the lab to do funny things, to play naughty. But I'm not going to send my messages encrypted. I will do other procedures, other asymmetrical algorithms, because symmetrical systems are very slow. You can see, as you can see, an N number, which can be a key session. If I do the digital signature with the hash function, with SHA-1, message D with in hash, because they are very slow systems. If one wants to discover and decipher the whole book of Quixote, so until the operation gives you the signature, is like this. Oh. You can see now the children when we were young, and time goes by for everybody. Now, what's the fortress for RSA? Basically speaking, we can see that the very first one, you can see somebody slipping through. It's a very slippery ground for us to factorize the value MP multiplied by speak and Q, because 1,000 bits, the computing time is excessive, and it's almost impossible to match it with a real time now. Even though you have a fabulous network supporting you, it's impossible for us. Parallelization, as you can see further on, is that the paradox of the birth rate. It has over 100 or 200 bits is not working. So it's a slippery ground. Is also the secret attacks are slippery, or the direct attack against the secret key, because we can prove many things, but in practically speaking, the algorithm won't collapse. It's me who is going to sleep in on it, because I want to able to find this password. Undetermined danger is what it is called lateral channel attacks. You can hear how bits were at the very moment I'm doing encryption. I have the clear text, interesting for me, and I using a lot of encryption with the private key, a password I'm trying to crack. When I find a pattern of performance in my computer, of how much my computer is consuming, is what is done in the States, how much noise is coming from my computer, even though the background noise is about 5 kilohertz through 30 kilohertz. There are also 100 kilohertz, but we only perhaps with it's a dog who can only turn on his ear onto the computer and to sniff through and prick up their ears onto the computer. Cyclical scripting attack. How is it done? With a P is a basic normal of asymmetrical encryption. Everything is done, which is when a key is used for one thing, a private one or a public one. Only with your private one you can encrypt it. And by server, if I send something with my private key, you have my public key, and what I will send you is authentic. This is a lie. I can encrypt something with the public key of the victim, and I can do many operations until I find the message. I can crack the secret without knowing the private key. This seems very interesting in principle, but the problem is that when we have a very big figure, this doesn't work because the computing capacity is impossible to be reached. But the paradox of Verde attack, if it's a prosperous attack, if it's successful, what we find automatically is the private key or other things similar. Let's now ask ourselves 11 questions. Very first 6 ones are not going to be posted here through a demo.
Pero sí estarán en un documento, como ves abajo pone ver documento.
But there will be on the document to be published on the internet on the date you can see next coming Monday. I'm still alive after this show. So there will be 11 questions and there will be some demos for the next ones on the computer. Can I choose the first numbers P and Q of the same value, the prime numbers? First question, can I choose the prime numbers P and Q of the same value? No. Is that, can I choose as the public key E, the value I want to know, because the value public E is that between E and the tricky body, the maximum common divisor equals 1 for us to have the inverse. And since in the space, the size, there must be between the number 2 and F minus 1 is practically is the module. F u is like this. I can have a range, a key of 2048 bits. I may get public keys of 2000 bits, private one, and the private one would be 50 bits one. So I can crack it through brutal force. This is not feasible. So it's like this. Should I be worried? Oh, it's next question. Will be all secret numbers encrypted that can be generated with a session key? It's supposed to be yes, but no. There are such numbers not encrypted and elevated and capital letters, the initial, which is equals 0, minus 1. It's a full round of numbers. If I don't take care of the design, the primes P and Q numbers, I can have 20,000 number key. Oh my gosh, I don't like it at all. In fact, opening CSLs, people didn't care about this. They don't use prime numbers which are high and strong. Because I'm telling you, because you're going to understand me. If you tell this to your bank manager, be careful because your key can be like this, so he's paranoid. You don't have to be worried about the question number 4, because the question we are going to generate would be 128 bits for this encryption. This is the number is the one with the private key in the bank, and this has values, 9 values. The possibility of the likelihood is almost infinite. It's not feasible. Trying to find out the key until we all die. So no worries. There are numbers in clear. If there is a public key, there is also a private one. This is false. This is true in the body FIADM, but here we calculate the private and public key in the tricky body, but with then encryption in N body. We change from Angelina Jolie to Brad Pitt, or from Brad Pitt to Angelina Jolie, perhaps, depending on if you're a man or woman. What's the problem here? Is the in body and things change. We're in a different movie, and it's not only a private key. For us, there are also one extra more. In the latest releases of OpenCM, it's difficult to find 3, 4, 5 keys, but I have keys from some years ago when we got 4,000. Oh my gosh, I don't like it. A private key with another 4,000 keys doing the same. Why not? Because it turns out that due to the concept of inverse, and I don't want to mess around with this, mathematically speaking, these private keys will be in a nebulous ether atmosphere. And say if I chose a bad key from 30 years ago, or 10 years ago, and the smallest one number would be 2030 bips. It are all in the same nebula up there. The likelihood that I can find a number of 1040 bips impossible for us to get attacked with a brutal force attack. This is not feasible. But only if it were 56 bits, 128 bips is perhaps possible, but over that cipher figure is absolutely not feasible. Second part on screen, I will, if we are good on time, can I show you some demos, demonstrations? Now, the secret is exchange is the value. If we don't know the private key in destination, no, this is not possible. I stole the victim's value and I elevated to the, the value of the victim. So what is gonna here? What am I going to do? I put the cryptogram in the public key and I get the result and vice versa until I can see if I get the same number with which I started. And in this case, I broke the secret without cracking the key. Next question, question 8. In the attack by cyclical encryption, if the result of the figure turns out to be encrypted with the same parameters, if the operation is repeated several times, we run through the whole body. Let's imagine I have a number of 1 million numbers. No, this is not true because I will create it in thousands of rings and I can fall into the smallest ring and I can get a number inside that ring. I can only remember 100, 130 numbers. I don't need to move around all the millions of numbers of the key. So, question 9: is this feasible for the attack? Is the attack is feasible through the factorization, the entire factorization for real keys? So, but about this number is not feasible. So no, the answer is no. All the attacks RSA NPR polynomial attacks if I double the double if I double your door front entry you so that's the process 2 digits. I'm working 1 second, so 2 digits. It takes me 30 or 20 minutes. A number of 9 digits, and it takes me 1 hour and a half. So it's an exponential curve, and I can find it up there. Oh, gosh, it's impossible to reach it. This is called the NP attack. These attacks, for cyclical attacks, are linear attacks. Unfortunately, they work with very, very long keys and they are not successful and are also distributed. The last question, 11, the attacks of lateral channel have no future? No. That's why the problem for all algorithms using the operation of exponentiation, which I'm working with the exponent in the private key, and when I digitally sign something, zeros and ones, and I do operations. And so I don't care attacking a key of 4,000 or 8,000 or 10,000 because I'm just reading this frequency, which is on the 30 kilohertz approximately. Does it mean that algorithms are broken? No, it's the implementations which are broken. They have to be implemented in a very different way. Now let's move on to this example on the screen of what a broken secret is without knowing the private key. I have a student is in phase beta, and it's difficult for us to see in this slide on the screen, but we can do a demo with 30 bits in a very quick way. I'm moving on here. I got it. So you got it on screen. I got it. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, automatic keys, 30 beeps. Oh, let's go with 20, which is quick. I generate a key. I I want to have a cyclic attack. Cyclic attack, lateral way. The attack starts. It's fine. Um, the key instead of 800, it was 40,000, so on. What we can see on the screen at the bottom, at the bottom of the page, we can see the body percentage, which is 1 per 1,000. I have to run little space to do this attack. Following this topic, let's move on to the slides again. Next slide. Rings are generated. Uh, I have 5 rings. 5? Two, 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 two. It means that I have astigmatism. There are 2 rings. Rings are created. What do rings mean? At a certain moment, I can tell the software, perform this operation. Take all the numbers corresponding to this body. Let's suppose you have the body 7 plus 11, 77. And what happens if I take a number related to the public key or any key? I reduce the module entry to the public key and do operations. And when this ring is closed, we can see many rings coming on. You can see on the screen this very short key. We have two, 2000 rings in length, 2,600 in total, 12,000 rings. I can break this ring. It's something unknown until this moment, but it can be done with this software. How to create these rings? We are running out of time. I can get the graphic and the chart for all these rings. I can get it in a very quick time. Entire factorization is not to be tested here because I ran out of time. Missive 151 program with a home computer, I can break 300 beeps number. I can break it in half an hour. If I have a more computer, I can break it quicker. But if I use a super powerful computer, it's not breakable. So as you can see, I have a snapshot, and it creates the file mcs.log, and you can get the log of how these points have been found. Now the paradox of the birthday and local service is a very interesting thing because it allows you to perform an attack to break the private key without knowing nothing, without knowing anything of the attacker, only the public key. I don't have to capture a message whatsoever. It's I want to pick number 2 or number 2000. I do a simple thing. I take module M, divided in 2 parts, right and left. Big numbers, small numbers. So the small ones in J and others in key. Them, the J are in a different range. I take this new attack, the 2400, and it's related to minus n meters of J's. The results, if the results don't match, the counters are increased. +1 +1, and I perform the same attack, elevated to 3 and elevated n medius. In this case, I have to look for if the last number of the chase has collided with the first number of the e's or vice versa. If it's the vice versa, if j's have collided with e's, this implies that I can parallelize. I can do parallel things. To those which are e's are j's. And j's, I'm moving the values of the other and vice versa. And I can do in the laboratory skills is divided by n and perfectly. There's a small example by using the paradox of the birthday. And with Java, I hope this is going to be uploaded on the internet. And we have the client, which you can see it, but it took me 10 hours to find it. This can be done with a local host, but it's better to do with NTP in a laboratory. That's why we use this high-performance data center in Vallecas 2 neighborhood. It's cool, but it's not this nice in reality. But it's not. It's very impressive big. I have been working 20 times with this program, and 20 PCs working with this program. Every PC has to indicate that you have the NTP from the server to be attacked. The server distributes equally this job to everybody. The one having more computing capacity will be given more packages. And we won't do this because we're out of time. But you can find the number of time, and time is 28 minutes. So divide and you will win. Instead of being in Vallecas neighborhood, this might have a super computing center, right? It would be good fun for me to test it. Perhaps we'll get closer to smaller bits, keys. It's interesting, but it's not going to be on some practical software to be uploaded for an internet for you to play with. Now, lateral channel attack. We can see the sound of the Garfunkel long play, the sound of silence. Many children were born after Simon Garfunkel songs. This one, the sound of silence. Roman, were you born out of this song? Zeros and ones is the computing time with the consumption of our battery. Zero consumes less and one consumes a lot more because zero is a square and one is square plus base module. This requires time. It's complicated. It's complicated. It's not that easy. You need to know the frequency between 30 kilohertz and 100 kilohertz for a geek-based computer. These telecom people from RSA, I stole from them the pictures up and down. I tried to listen to the noises coming from the zeros and ones in the computer, and I found it. The trouble is that this turns into real danger because every key can be developed. These people have done it with a mobile phone, which capture the key from the computer on their website. There are 15 faxes where you say the type of attacks that you can perform, and for instance, those systems well protected, but you put the mic there, the fan, and you can capture what bits are doing inside the computer, and will be distrustful of these people. Let's see. The solutions. Okay, Tempest is the solution. Tempest tries to avoid the radiomagnetic radiation. You can see this YouTube video as to how the password is captured, or implementation. Other option. I can easily say, oh, I implement when I do zero, I will do 2 zeros, and the second one is eliminated. You put fake things in between, and if in the body of 5,000 bits, if there are some random bits well collocated, it would be implementation. Another tag in between, Samir, is done with the living together of these things against RSA through UPG, which is automatically is the patch on it, and the latest release it has been implemented. The capacity that is not being affected by this kind of attacks. That's it. So please, let's not be paranoid. Perhaps in the coming future, we generate energy in the brain, and there are also zeros and ones. The synapses can put some chip in the neuronal synapse, and they can read our thoughts. It would be funny that there will be a movie all around. So these are my references for you to check where you can extract information from, and I'm available for your questions should you have any questions or in the breaks. Thank you very much for your attention and attendance.
Sí, 40. Dos preguntas. Hola. Ahora sí.
Well, hello over there. Over there. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very firstly, congratulations, terrific talk. But unfortunately, I didn't understand most of your presentation. Sorry to say, I'm not telling lies, but I couldn't understand many of the things you're saying. Your talk has been very interesting, even though for those who are paranoid, it would be feasible for do a USB generating noise in that frequency to avoid being listened by a phone. Um, and so, how can we generate this kind of noise? Of course, authors they say so. Not any kind of noise. You can that okay. The noises are zeros and ones. Are 0 is 35 kilohertz and 1 is bigger. There's also a frequency which is captured, which is the harmonics, the harmony. So, but this within this frequency, any external noise can be filtered in the noise from the fan. It doesn't work. But if there are noise in the program, in the software, that's why one external device, USB generating noise at these frequencies in such a way that processor continues working, but if you have a mobile phone trying to wiretapping, can get this noise from different devices. You can create a USB for paranoids. Yes. Noise can be through the electronic components vibration, but noise can be through the exit, the BGA outside, USB. You can change the part of manufacturing or the part of implementation, but you can get all these noises to mask the whole thing. When you're going to introduce the phase of pass, you activate that in such a way that the magnetic radiations from the keyboard are not detected for the person beside you. This generates a white noise. Thank you very much.
Uy.
Hola,
Ahora sí.
Jorge, ¿y se podría hacer un parche software? Es decir, tocar la...
A software patch for you. When the moment you are computing 1 and 0, when this graphic is applied, yes. The only trouble, and I'm not a software developer, perhaps I can make up something. As I read it, you can touch the computer, but you can touch the noisy computer, and the heat on the computer it dissipates and moves to your body, and then to the ground, and you can mix up and mix zeros and ones. It's like science fiction, but it's like this. The only thing, like I said, it would be dangerous for us to somebody in the tube station or in the metro, somebody with your program, with a key, they can create Trojans where the Trojan does, it's listening to your computer. It's not a keyboard, it's not a keyload, it's not a screen road. They're listening to your computer through the Trojans. It's a trendy topic, and it's in fashion, all this kind of espionage. Thank you very much, Jorge.